Hey everybody, welcome into Full Time. I will not speak about USA Mexico. I kind of emptied my chamber on that in my last Full Time, which happened to be, and thanks to everyone who helped me out, get it out, my most successful Full Time. I've been getting here on YouTube. I want to fill this YouTube space. I'm excited about it, and it's a great place for me to get my opinions out. And, you know, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but a toot. I've been doing this for a long time, and I think I have a lot of knowledge here that I would like to share. So if you want to know more about the sport, this is the place where you can do it. So thank you for making the most successful full-time, upwards and onwards from here. I did get a lot of good mentions and comments from the USA Mexico, all very negative about the USA performance. I let you know how I felt. So I want to share a few of them with you. This was the most engaging full-time I had, and I'm very excited about what we're moving on from here. Jerry So 619. If you guys don't rein in Berhalter soon, you're going to miss the World Cup. So Greg Berhalter in the crosshairs here. And I think Greg Berhalter should be given time, but how much rope? How much rope do you give him? Horacio Gomez. Bradley needs to play. Michael Bradley. Darlington Nagbe. Altidore as well. So there are some players that I think will make the U.S. effort a bit better, but I think that's a small Band-Aid on a bit of a wound here. Borreguito Antrax. This is the frustrating part. Borreguito says Mexico played like blank. So many chances went to waste. So even though Mexico won 3-0, he thought the U.S. should have lost by 5 or 6, and he might have a point. Yikes. Shnikes. Knut Garvik. The best American coach out there is Jesse Marsch. Jesse now coaching in Austria for the, I think, Salzburg or the Red Bull folks. So, interesting what he might be able to do. There might be maybe a name to remember down the road if there are further complications. Where was I? Jerry Crowther. Berhalter needs to be replaced. He's costing me money. I owe dinner to several Mexican buddies. So I would suggest, Jerry, not to gamble with the U.S. men's national team. You're going to lose. Bet on the U.S. women. You'll be getting a lot more dinners in return. Jimmy Conrad, the shout-out, well-deserved. Jimmy has been my knight in shining armor here on YouTube. And a little further back, I had a topic about Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur, so I wanted to mention J.S. Gill as well. Talking about Arsenal. Arsenal can be a challenge once Emery figures out how to use Ozil. I think Mesut Ozil is that enigma, that guy that you might be able to get here at some point, but I think Arsenal go as far as their defense goes. They need help. They have nothing back there. They have nothing. That's not good enough. They need 2 good center backs, at least one, and they might have a shot. All right, let's get into this week, International Week. A lot of interesting developments coming out of it. And I'm going to go into the Netherlands first. And, we're not supposed to call them Holland anymore because Holland doesn't recognize the entire country, so we call it the Netherlands. But when I talk to Dutch people, they go, well, we call it Holland. I don't know what you're talking about. We call it Holland here. It's I spoke to 6 Dutch people. They all said Holland is fine, but we'll call it the Netherlands. So the Netherlands, like the United States, missed the World Cup. They missed the Euros too, so they've been in a real rut. And I'm a big believer, and this is what I thought the silver lining was when the USA didn't make the World Cup. You got to hit rock bottom to come up. You got to show rock bottom so that you clean house and you say, all right, we're the old players, thank you, we're moving on. The old ways, thank you, we're trying something different. So the Netherlands now are reaping the benefits because they did that. And now from the ashes emerges so many good young players like Georgino Wijnaldum, who was fantastic, amongst others, for the Netherlands as they beat Germany and are now well on their way to qualifying for Euro 2020 and put the Germans in major peril, by the way. Frankie de Jong has been a superstar. Virgil van Dijk, best player in the Premier League. Matthias de Ligt, maybe the best young defender in the world. Quincy Promes, the list goes on and on. They need a couple better attackers, but I think that will come at some point because Dutch football is starting to bear a lot of fruit. But the Netherlands have now beaten Germany. They got to the Nation League's final, the Nations League, a new tournament, which very competitive. They lost to Portugal and Cristiano Ronaldo in the final. But on the way there, they beat France. They beat England. The Netherlands are getting good results. This is a team that not only is going to make Euro 2020, but by the time it gets here next summer, might be one of the 2 or 3 favorites. I would put Spain right back there at the top, and the French, obviously. But it's going to make a very compelling competition for more reasons than just that, as I'll get to here in a moment. So I look at what the Netherlands are doing. I see the USA. This is what we should have done. Cleaned house, and they didn't really. You gotta sweep with the big broom sometimes to get out all the nooks and crannies. That's always a weird expression, nooks and crannies. By the way, Italy didn't make the World Cup, and now they are guns blazing. They are 6 wins out of 6 in Euro qualifying. Now, they haven't played really tough opponents, but I think you see the young players emerging, and now Italy learning from their mistakes too. Forza Italia. Fratelli d'Italia. Fratelli d'Italia. E cinta la destra. That was weird. Oh, we're next. Hey, Iceland might be doing it again, too. Iceland might qualify. They're tied in their group with France and Turkey. Top 2 go through. Why not Iceland? Iceland are a qualifying machine. That's a good story, but the great story relies extra. And I'm going to get a little political here, and I don't want to say something that's going to get anybody upset, so I'll be very careful because I know this is a very sensitive topic, and I'm talking about Kosovo. Now a sovereign nation that was it was part of the old Yugoslavia, and then it was the Serbs and the Albanians resided there, and both kind of claimed sovereign state of Kosovo. This was an area in the world where it was awful. There was bloodbaths, there was death, there was a U.S. intervention. They bombed Serbia back. Do you remember that? Was that Kosovo independence finally occurred in 2008? But there is a lot of unrest even after that. It always comes up. It came up in sports. And remember, at the World Cup, Switzerland played Serbia, and the Swiss have a couple ethnic Albanians, Granit Xhaka and Shaqiri, Sherdan Shaqiri, and they did that sign, the double eagle, which is very important for Albanians, and the Albanians who also resided in Kosovo. And that was a message, and it did not sit well for the Serbs. So this is intertwined into sport. Even the Albanians who were born in Switzerland and represent Switzerland, it's still important to them. So you can see the emotions and what it means. So you have to tread very lightly. But I'm just going to talk about the sports of what Kosovo, a new nation, has been able to do. They beat the Czech Republic in qualifying. They are unbeaten in 15 games. Kosovo, by the way, bigger than you think. About 4,000 square miles, 1.8 million people. So it's not a small nation by any means. But it's torn apart in many ways with the Serbs who feel it's theirs, the Albanians, and Kosovo now its own independent nation. And here's a chance where sport can really cool over. Now, Kosovo is viewed as a U.S. stranglehold because many felt it was created by the United Nations, and the U.S. kind of built it there so to their liking. It gets a lot of anger here, and I don't want to get into the politics. I don't want to say something I'm going to regret, but I think Kosovo doing this well, and they have a lot of good players that play in good European leagues, is going to put at least attention on this situation. Kosovo are just about through. And again, unbeaten in 15 games. They are really doing it the right way. And hopefully the conflict can be quelled in some way and things can come out the other end and sports can lead the way. Because sports, the Kosovo Albanians and the Kosovo Serbs, it's a very sticky situation and it's very complicated. By the way, Kosovo, despite all of that hanging over their head, are churning out results. Tuesday they play at Wembley against England. And if they win that, this story is going to get huge, but you heard it here first on Full Time. You heard it here first. That's how I roll. All right, to the craziest story of the year. Danny Drinkwater. Maybe you heard of him. He was a champion in 2016 with Leicester. Good-looking midfielder, defender. He could do it all. World at his feet. Started getting call-ups for England. Made a $40 million transfer to Chelsea from Leicester City. The world was his oyster. Everything was going well. But Danny Drinkwater has a drinking problem. See, we used to make fun of his name, but you don't make fun of it anymore because it's getting pretty serious. So in 2019, his life has really fallen apart. In April, he crashed his Range Rover into a wall. Pretty nasty, based on all reports. 20 months he was banned from driving. You would have hoped he would have learned from that situation, but here he comes. He's now been transferred to Burnley, so everything's going backwards for this guy. And he didn't appear in a game against Liverpool. So people are going, what's going on? So everything's coming out now. Apparently, Danny Drinkwater was at a Manchester club, and he was pretty drunk, not on water. He approached the girlfriend of a soccer player from Scunthorpe United. I'm going to try and get it. Kogosi and Telly, who's South African. Tried to pick up the girl. There was a scuffle between the two, and apparently Danny Drinkwater said this, or was overheard saying this: "I don't care, mate. She's coming home with me." So the scuffle happened. Both players kicked out of the club, and then when he gets outside in the club, six thugs who recognized he was a soccer player. They don't have made any connection to and Telly, the Scunthorpe player, but they saw him and they attacked his leg like they did in pro wrestling. Like Ric Flair attacked the leg. You could overhear in the alley, break his leg, and they beat him to a serious pulp. There was blood everywhere. I'm sorry if I'm not laughing. It's such a bizarre story. So he had a pretty nasty ankle ligament damage that's going to keep him out for a month. So here he is, his life in tatters. A few weeks earlier, he says he wants to get back. Apparently, when they told him about this, the next day he had no recollection it happened. So these six guys said break his leg, and they went to town on Danny Drinkwater outside of a Manchester club. Crazy stuff. Crazy. And this goes to show, and I think first and foremost, you want Danny Drinkwater to come out the other end. And that will require sobriety, first and foremost. I think Danny Drinkwater, if you look at him, he's a pretty striking guy. He's got a good look. Stay away from clubs. Stay away from other people's girls and wives, because this is Danny, listen to me. You can pick them up on your own. You can have any of those women. Just try a little hard. Just be civil, be nice, ask him out on a date, and you'll meet some really nice girls because you got tons of money and you're a footballer, amongst other things. So do that. I don't know what's going on. This happens in this sport a lot, where crisscrossing guys going girlfriends and wives. Stop it, John Terry. So Danny Drinkwater, I don't know. This is a story that could get bigger, but I hope Danny Drinkwater learns from his mistakes. All right, we have gone on way too long. Thank you for all your support. Subscribe to my YouTube page, Max Prodos. We'll talk very soon. And remember, stay off the booze.